Hi, beautiful humans! Let's talk for a moment about finding your joy in life. Because contrary to how many of us are living our lives, finding joy, experiencing joy in your mind and heart and body is exactly what part of this beautiful human existence that we're participating in is all about. And I feel like so often when I speak with people and I ask them how they're doing, their answer always goes back to busy. I'm busy. Things are busy. Everything's busy right now. And I think it's time we really have this conversation about introducing peace so that we can start finding joy in our lives. Because joy is where you start to feel that feeling of expansion, of radiating, of being able to be your whole self. And we do often have this tendency to eliminate things that are bringing us joy. For example, when I moved from middle school into high school, I stopped collecting rocks. Or when I was killing plants because I didn't know how to take care of them, I stopped getting them because I thought that made me a bad plant person. Plants weren't for me. We have this tendency to either shut down things that we really enjoy because of fear that we'll be judged, or we have the tendency to sell our potential short when we really could be just beginners and could just push a little bit further past where we see ourselves failing if we just gave ourselves a little bit more grace, a little bit more permission to feel like a beginner. And gosh, I think it's really important for us to be able to experience these feelings in our lives because we are so inundated with heavy things to experience also. That's the duality of life. Things can feel heavy. People can be passing laws that make us feel scared or afraid. And with all of that heaviness, with all of that encroaching, when we let our lives just be busy, it's hard to keep perspective of that other side of the spectrum, which is joy, which is fun, which is play. And it's so important for us to allow ourselves to experience both ends of the spectrum. And we don't always get to control what happens in our government or in whatever areas of life you're passionate about where you're not seeing what you desire. We don't always have control over that. What we do have control over is what we look for in our own lives as what we can create within our own lives. We are in charge of our own sense of creation. And that unlocks so much capacity for joy and for peace. And so if you are a person who feels so very busy, like we tend to feel sometimes, what I would love to invite you to do is start asking yourself, oh, there's a beautiful yellow little butterfly over by my wisteria bringing such joy. Sometimes it gets to be that simple. Sometimes it gets to be as simple as asking yourself what you can notice that already exists that can bring you joy. Turn on that little question in your brain of what can I notice today that will make me feel joy? And just asking yourself that question is such a good freaking place to start. In fact, in general, asking yourself questions like where or what or how activates our problem-solving brains. So when you talk about like mind, body, spirit alignment, getting your mind on board can be a great way by asking these powerful questions that activate our problem solving, because even just that can allow you to experience more joy. And if that feels like busy is still a way of life, or joy isn't as accessible as you wish that it were, I invite you to ask yourself questions like, where can I be receiving help right now? Or where can I be exercising my right to say no to things? Where can I be setting boundaries? And that's another beautiful layer to help yourself access a path to more joy. And if those things feel like they're not quite possible for you yet because you don't feel cozy setting boundaries, or you feel uncomfortable asking for help, then let's go a layer deeper. Let's back up one more step on this journey, and you can ask yourself things like, what would help me feel calm about asking for help? Or what would help me feel empowered in setting boundaries? And again, let that problem solving go to work for you. And maybe you journal these questions out. Maybe you talk them out with your partner or your bestie or your mom or whatever. Maybe you speak into your voice notes app. Maybe you start a like a video journal or something where you're just like talking to yourself on your camera. Whatever it is, allow yourself to start answering those questions that will lead you on your next step to that journey of finding peace, to that journey of finding joy, to that journey of experiencing the beautiful, luscious, delicious end of the spectrum of duality, so that you're not stuck in the middle where it's just busy, busy, busy. Because we can't control what we can't control. But we can control that if we're busy, what next step that would get us closer to joy? And then that next step that gets us closer to joy. And then that next step, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be like planning a trip to the Maldives to experience joy, right? It can be very localized. It can be very minute. It can be seeing a butterfly next to your wisteria. It can be planting the wisteria to attract the butterflies, right? It can be starting a seed to see what you can grow. It doesn't have to be complicated. It gets to be easy. All you have to do is start asking yourself the questions that will lead you to where you desire to be. And that process that I just took you through of like starting with the end goal of joy, and then telling you, like giving you questions to get you to joy. And then if you don't feel ready for that, backing up and asking yourself a question that will get you to that next step. You can keep backtracking like that. If you don't feel ready to ask yourself like how to feel comfortable or peaceful setting boundaries, perhaps ask yourself what makes you feel that way, and start unearthing those feelings, or start discussing that with your therapist as a topic of conversation, because I so very much support you getting support with yourself through this. I love you so much. You are worthy and deserving of joy. And there's a plane flying over now, so I will call it here. I love you guys so much. Bye.